What's up, everybody? Welcome to TPI, the Total Podcast Idiots show, where we cover everything and anything related to Hardwood, the best game ever created. I'm the only Total Podcast idiot for today, Andrew. As you can see, Rob is not here. We both have busy schedules, but the show today will go on. Sorry for not recording a show midweek, offering some of our tips and tricks. That's my fault with my schedule, being busy. But I think we have some great topics lined up in the near future. So I'm really excited about that. It'll just be me today. Rob has some stuff to deal with. So we'll just get right on into it. Things are doing pretty good on this Sunday, I think. No recruits for my teams yet. That kind of sucks. But, there's still plenty of time in the season. And, with that said, it's really early in the season. We just finished up these non-con games, the non-conference schedule. So it's only been 10 games and then one game in conference. So it's still really early. There's a lot of things that still have to shake out with regards to the season, and how it's really going to play out, tournament picture and promotion and relegation. But, you can kind of get a sense of what's to come usually. I mean, 10 games is not, it's not small. It's obviously not a large sample size, but it's something to evaluate if you are trying to evaluate your team or your opponents, your conference, right? There's data to look at and trends that should hold for the most part. I mean, we've talked about slumps and hot streaks happening, and who's to say how long they are or when they happen exactly. But, for the most part, 10 games should give you a decent idea. If 5 more games are played, then you have a really good idea. 10 more games, we're halfway through the season. You got to start really making changes now to prepare for that, halfway mark and then beyond, right? The second half. So, that's why I think this show is really pivotal for a lot of our viewers, hopefully, to look at their teams, evaluate. I mean, it won't be so much like looking at tactics and strategies. It'll be looking at these specific rosters, but hopefully you can learn something on how to evaluate your own team based on what we go through here. So, as usual, we're going to go through the top teams in each division. So, as usual, we start with Division 1. It's pretty obvious. We talk about Mississippi a lot. They're awesome. They're undefeated. There's 9 undefeated teams in Division 1. In fact, that would be Mississippi, Texas-Arlington, Misericordia, Tarleton State, Lewis and Clark, Loyola Chicago, Shepherd, Colorado, and UNC Asheville here. And you can see like Colorado and UNC Asheville with RPIs past 100, and Shepherd's pretty close, versus like the other 6 are all top 50, right? And I mean, a lot of that has to do with conference level, and likely who they played in non-conference, and you can see the strength of schedules here for the bottom 3. And bottom, relative, they're undefeated. That's pretty good. In Colorado and UNC Asheville, I checked, they're receiving votes for the top 25 bowl. Asheville, in fact, was top 20 yesterday, and they won today against a good Washington University team on the road, but they dropped out of the top 25. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, it could just be the opponent rather, but not really like to say Washington U is bad. It's more like the opponents of the other teams that jumped into the top 25, I guess, were stronger. I don't know. But yeah, all of these top 6 teams here are ranked in the top 10, I think, or 11. So, I mean, it pays to be in one of the top conferences, I guess, and that's obvious for multiple reasons: recruiting, ranking, everything. But yeah, so let's see. So yeah, that's the top the undefeated teams. Running the solo is harder, of course, for me. But when we look at, let's look at conferences, right? Legends is always solid, right? 4 in the top 20 you're going to get that. Then, Lewis and Clark here, Kansas State looks really good. I actually think Kansas State will move up a lot. I think they're a lot better than 41st ranking. You can see that their strength of schedule is decent, especially, higher than Lewis and Clark's. Ursinus probably moves up too. All these Legends teams down here should move up just by quality of opponent, pretty much, the strength of schedule. So, yeah. But, there's been talk by a lot of people who actually can't look at the teams in Legends and in their leagues, whatever league they're in, and, are trying to predict and project, right? And, I think Punk Scott and Cough Daddy, they both have, their own projections out with regards to Legends. And they both have said that Legends doesn't look that good in comparison to normal. 1 and 3 looks great. 18, 19 solid, but then, I guess maybe more down here in the middle and then the bottom, not looking, as good as usual. So that's interesting. 2.1 here also, doesn't look super strong. These are good teams, of course, but just, when you look at the TPIs, you look at the RPIs and the rankings, obviously, but, you can base it off of this too, the actual number. 2.1 isn't looking like as strong as it might be, for various reasons. I'm not sure exactly why, but 2.2 actually might be the best conference in all of Division I, right? You have 6, 7, 8, and then, a bunch more, 13, 17, 27, on and on, right? I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 11 teams in the top 70. That's really, really good. That's a really strong conference, I'd say. Iowa beat Dominican earlier this year for Dominican's only loss this season, which I was kind of mystified by, but Iowa's a good team. And they're the last, well, not the last, but they're the 11th ranked team in this division. So, or in this conference. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? Let's take a look at some teams. Let's start in Legends, though. I just feel like, we should. So let's look at last year's national champions. You can see probably a lot of the teams I've opened up. Don't worry, there's a lot of them. Evansville, they're 19th. I didn't look at Mississippi or Tennessee because we've looked at them before. Tarleton, definitely warrants a look, I guess, too. We can look at them. They're undefeated too. So I think we've looked at them though. So we'll just be quick here. But they're the number 2 ranked team right now, like in the top 25 poll. And, just a quick look. Eddy and Southard are probably the bigs here to really watch out for. And you can see really good defenders, strong rebounders, both pretty strong. I always start with the bigs because bigs kind of dominate this game in Hardwood, yeah. And then you got to look at the top talent here. Albertson being the shooting guard. I would imagine, he can really shoot well from 3. It looks like 17's outside shot and range is really good. Albertson here, right? You can tell it takes 11 threes a game, hits almost 40%. He's actually the point guard though. Southard the center, Carey the small forward, Eddy the power forward, and mostly right at shooting guard, but it looks like Dickey gets some playing time there. So yeah, let's see. So Carey at small forward, Eddy at power forward, Southard at center, point guard at Albertson. So here's the interesting thing. Albertson's starting at point guard, which, he has the IQ, the handling, the passing kind of. 11's fine. I would think it's fine. Maybe at, LL1, 11 passing isn't great, but maybe it's his best option. Yeah. Dewey may not be quite ready yet, I guess, is the thing. So Albertson's, I guess, the best fit. Right. And then Andre Wright here is the shooting guard, kind of, with Dickey kind of getting some playing time here too. And Dewey should get playing time at point guard. So he's trying to figure out his lineup or Tarleton's trying to figure out their lineup. I guess a little bit, yeah. I mean, like I said, I was getting on Albertson starting a point guard, but not having knowledge at point guard. So yeah, I think that's interesting. Perimeter defense, maybe not the strongest. I mean, 13 is fine. Like I would think that's fine for me, but LL1, whole different ball game. I've never even approached close to there, so I don't know what it really like takes, Yeah, I mean, this is a solid team. They were number 1 seed in the tournament last year. I'm sure they graduated a lot. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we can take a look at that, right? They graduated Velez and Culpepper. This is Jarvis Culpepper. Okay, gotcha. I mean, yeah, it's tough to replace a guy like Culpepper, right? Right, he was the point guard too, so they have to slide Albertson over, and yeah, it's definitely a different lineup. So it'll be interesting to see how they adjust to that, but solid build here for sure. Yeah, we're not going to start with UH-Hilo, but we'll get to them. Evansville is who we're going to talk about, right? That's right. Evansville, they're last year's national champs, and they return I think 3 starters, right, from last year: Robinson, George, and Turner. And you can see Turner's 7'1.5". He's got the skills in the right places, the points in the right places. Really, yeah, maybe a little low on the scoring, but when you're 7'1.5", you don't need like a ton. Like 12 is good for 7'1.5" at like 270. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. George and Robinson were like mostly starters last year for them in their national title run, so I think he has a lot of trust in them. Golf Hogan has a lot of trust in these guys, so ride them. The weird thing is, I didn't mention power forward or small forward, and you can kind of see Meador, decent power forward guy, but then who's the small forward? I think they've been playing. Let's see again. Actually, I gotta let's look at it ourselves. I remember seeing it, and then I don't quite remember who it was. I mean, they've been kind of fuddling around with their lineup a lot. DiMaggio's gotten the most minutes. I think he's a true freshman at small forward, and he's gotten the most starts, presumably. And then Ham's gotten some starts too. Miller has gotten some starts, but in the backcourt. Gabriel, though, is the other like kind of small forward, right? So let's look at that. Gabriel, DiMaggio, and I'll say my kind of idea, which probably won't really work. But right, so Gabriel, he's 6 foot half an inch. He's fast, but he's a little small, and he's like not great at defense, but he's a 4-star freshman. So give him the playing time. Yeah, he could be good. He could get there for sure. But this year, I don't know if he's ready. That's a problem. DiMaggio 6'4", so he's got better size. He's also a 4-star freshman. He's got better speed, not quite as good at defense. So, that's, I guess, where you kind of have to juggle it, right? Yeah, size and speed versus a little bit better skill, right? And I mean, Gabriel's 20 points better overall. Oh, wait, Gabriel's faster. Oops. So speed versus size and skill, speed and skill versus size. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, though. I don't really know. My kind of idea, though, is to actually play Zach Ham, start him at power forward, next to Turner, and then move Meador to small forward. Obviously, there's a lot of problems with that. Meador is definitely not as fast as either Gabriel or DiMaggio. He doesn't have this small forward knowledge like both of them do. But he's the better defender. He's bigger. He's a better ball handler. He's not that much more skilled, obviously, than Gabriel. But you're getting bigger. You're getting a bigger lineup with putting Ham in as well. The other issue with that, of course, is you're taking away your depth from the big spot, obviously, by putting Ham in there. So then I was thinking, well, okay, keep Meador at power forward. I mean, keep Hammond as the backup big. That's pretty important. DiMaggio and Gabriel, again, not the best fits. And so then I was looking at Cody Atkinson, right? He's a good defender and he's got the size. He's not slow. He's slower than DiMaggio and Gabriel. Maybe him. I mean, yes, he's a walk-on and much lower skill than either DiMaggio or Gabriel, and probably less potential, definitely less potential. But maybe that's the solution if there's problems with DiMaggio or Gabriel. But Evansville obviously knows how to manage their team, so they're doing just fine probably without my advice. So let's move on. So yeah, that's Legends teams. We're going to go down into LL2 now and look at the Texas State Bobcats, right? And, this is tough team. And it's all about Trevor Wheeler, the 5-star redshirt senior. I mean, look at these numbers. It's crazy. But, you can't focus all your attention if you're the opponent, you can't focus all your attention on Trevor Wheeler, although he deserves quite a bit of it. Because, Wheeler, you can see he shoots really well and he's their top scorer. Maybe he should deserve all your attention. But the guy who I am particularly scared of would be Posey. I don't know. You see he's the big guy here. He's a big threat though, 6'10" and a half, a really good defender. I think this is the guy you have to really game plan for. He's pretty quick. Yeah, his scoring numbers aren't spectacular. Maybe Marvin Young is the guy, or Gilbert J as the outside shooter, this is just a really balanced team though, you see, right? 5 double-digit scores. Even, Dontrell Carr coming off the bench is a double-digit scorer. Kerry Crouch is kind of the guy in the starting lineup who really sacrifices his offensive opportunities, only an 11% usage rate. Obviously probably there for most defense, or, glue guy type of guy, right? 17 ID, yeah. Dontrell Carr again, yeah, is the threat off the bench. Jordan Mahan McAllister. Let's look at them. Jordan Mahan McAllister. They're okay. Like, they can kind of shoot. They're playing okay. They're getting some minutes, and that's pretty much the rotation of Texas State. He doesn't really run his guys into the ground, and they're still scoring like decent amounts. Yeah, he's not overtaxing them at all, or not overexposing them on offense. Yeah, this is a really good team. Man, I would not have fun game planning for this team. But yeah, Trevor Wheeler, man. Wow. Jeez. 16, 17, 10 in IQ, not the best there. But yeah, so Texas State though, they're having a really good year, of course. 6th in RPI here, 9-2 to start the season. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Misericordia now. You can see they're 7th in RPI. They're one of the undefeated teams left. So Curtin, Miller, Jordan, Graham. Ooh, Eddie Graham, man, I could have had him. Carson and Fraley with Nash sprinkled in. So let's try to remember those. Here's their 5-star guy. Whoa, that's pretty short. What the heck? Curtin at center, Miller as a combo big, Jordan at shooting guard, Graham as a backup guard, Carson as the point guard, and Fraley as the small forward. Okay. I don't remember any of that. Curtin as the center, Miller as the combo big. Okay. So Curtin as the center, and Miller as the combo big. 6'5" is short for power forward in LL2 for sure. You can see they're kind of soft on the interior defense. But, Curtin is solid. I think Bridger wrote was it Bridger? Let's see. Yeah, Bridger wrote like a preview on LO2, or 2.2. Is it 2.2? No, I'm all confused. 2.2 on this conference. He mentioned Curtin being, or like this whole team in general, like being kind of underwhelming in terms of size, but like Curtin, with that strength, 15, 245 pounds, like he can hold his own, obviously. 16 interior scoring here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think they're going to meet some problems against bigger teams. And I don't know if like all those bigger teams are in this conference, but like eventually in the national tournament, I'm sure there's some teams with a lot of size that they'll have to go against. So, Fraley. So, I mean, Nash isn't starting. Jordan starts at which one again? Shooting guard. Okay, Carson's the point guard. Okay, Jordan, shooting guard. Carson at point guard. So here's some size here at 6'6", point guard. As a sophomore, he's fast. He's got a good IQ. He's got solid passing and handling for a sophomore. I was mentioning Wheeler or other guys not being as high up, but those are seniors. This is a sophomore. But he's not great at defense. He's not a great shooter yet. I mean, he could be. Fraley here, kind of here, 6'6", small forward, right? Graham as the combo guard is not starting. Interesting. I mean, because he's got the skills, but maybe it's the size that Cladu wants to use, I guess. I don't know. Jordan looks like a really good shooter though, right? Although this isn't a team that shoots a lot of threes, so that's interesting. They pack the paint. They really attack the paint here. Curtin and Miller, of course, right? Being those two guys over here, right? Yeah, interesting. So yeah, I mean, Miller is obviously very skilled. Probably, yeah, like he's a good fit at power forward. I think that's his best position, but I don't know, 6'5", just like not what I would really try to use, but they're making it work. They're undefeated. Again, they don't need my advice, I'm sure. Okay, who else are we going to? I mean, you can see North Greenville's on the schedule. Yeah, I mean, that's LL2. Those are the teams I wanted to hit in LL2. I mean, obviously, if these teams keep winning, Huntington, IUPUI, Valpo, we'll talk about them. But I only have so much time. All right. So, I mean, 3.1, some solid teams here: Arizona State, Gonzaga, Pace. But we're not going to talk about them today. Just keep winning. We'll talk about your teams if you keep winning. We're actually going to go to Texas-Arlington here, another Texas team. And you can see they're far and away playing the best out of this whole conference. A bunch of other mid-tier opponents, right? But Texas-Arlington's undefeated with a stronger RPI. So let's take a look at their roster. And I remember looking at this roster when I was doing prep, and obviously it's Hawkins and Connolly here, right? The shooting guard and the small forward. I hope that's right. Sometimes I'm wrong, as you guys know. Yeah, small forward Connolly, Hawkins as the shooting guard, Kincaid as the point guard. So just off the bat, I bet they take a lot of threes. It's a very perimeter focused team, right? They take almost 24 threes a game, which is a decent amount, and they shoot well. They still can score in the paint some. Yeah, so let's take a look, right? I mean, Connolly, he's 18 shot, but just a 9 in range. So that's interesting that he's being allowed to shoot so much from three. Hawkins has a bad percentage. He's not been efficient, but he's 12, 11, which also isn't that great, honestly. Kincaid's probably the best 3-point shooter, and obviously, yeah, that's a fit. That's looking at the outside shot in the range, but it's also the speed. 14 speed, it's fine, but sometimes there's faster point guards, especially when you're up in this, LO3 and above, I'm sure, eventually. Yeah, I mean, so you can see Kincaid's actually the best shooter by percentage. And, it's not like he's taking a low volume, 5 threes a game. And a lot of that's because of this 18 speed, right? And I mean, you saw Connolly is also a really good shooter in terms of volume, but the percentage is not as high. Again, 13 speed versus 18. It can make a big difference, right? When you're just able to like run away from your defender. Yeah, I mean, Hardy gets a lot of shots too as the backup combo guard. You can see he was the 4th highest by SI here, and he's got a nice combo, 16 speed, 14, 16 here. Yeah, I mean, this team has got a lot of good guards. And then Vincent, power forward, right? And Charlie Armstrong as the center with, I imagine, Parrish and Doherty. Okay. Mathis as a small forward. I'm just learning these teams myself, really. Yeah, I mean, Mathis as a small forward backup, so it's not like a huge deal. But, trying to like put a square peg in a round hole type of thing here. Armstrong, did I almost recruit this guy at one point? Yeah, he's decent as a center. I mean, he's really the only size this team has that's ready, at least. Rufus Washington hopefully eventually will be. Doherty, he's a true freshman 4-star getting backup minutes right now. He'll probably be ready in a little bit. But yeah, Vincent looks like, a good power forward, solid. But yeah, this is really a really good perimeter team. Not as good interior. And I'm looking at the ratings here, but of course, the heights too play a factor. And I mean, Armstrong is solid enough, right? 13 strength, 250 pounds, 6'9.5", 10 in ID. And Vincent is okay, right? With 11 here in ID, 11 in strength, not that great for just a 210 pounder at 6'7.5". A little small, can be attacked, can definitely be attacked a bit, but 16 rebounding, you got to play him. And it's not like there's a better option, really, So, will UTA be undefeated at the end of the day? I mean, obviously, probably not. That's just like probability speaking. But are they really even deserving of this number 4 ranking? I don't know. I mean, I think they are deserving of it, but will they stay up that high, I guess, is the question. That's what I am really doubting. But, this isn't the strongest conference right now. Just, yeah, you can see a big jump here. So, maybe they can run away with it still. Yeah, interesting. I mean, they got the highest TPI by a lot. Wow. So, that usually helps. All right, let's move on. Let's see, Greenville and Co are the ones I want to hit next. So North Greenville, this is a team I remember a few seasons ago, and it looks kind of like now. This team, the TPI is not that high, right? Or the SIs, right? It looks like the talent, the skills are not super high, but I mean, you saw where they're ranked, 5th in RPI, 10-1, right? I mean, whether it's tactics or size, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, just looking at it, they've got decent size of Sweeney and Burrows, I assume, are starting. They've definitely juggled around I presume their red shirts. Right, Gaddy is a freshman. I'm sure he'll redshirt. Hairston is a freshman. He'll redshirt, I'm sure. So he's just getting them some playing time. Hawk, right? Yeah. So yeah, they've just been shuffling around their lineup, but looks like just getting the younger guys some red shirts. So I mean, that's how I like to play too. And they've managed to go 10-1. Jeez, wow. But yeah, I mean, Crabtree and Mims, I mean, are both starting. Mims looks like the starting point guard. Does Crabtree start? Crabtree doesn't start. So their highest rated SI guy doesn't start, which, I mean, I've done that too. So it's not like that crazy. And it's not like they're tied. So, well, yeah, whatever. Let's see. Burrows is the combo forward. Sweeney's the center. Mims the point guard. Allen at shooting guard and Madden at small forward with Strom and Crabtree getting a lot of playing time. Okay. So Strom at power forward, Crabtree and Woods as the wing. Okay. So let's see. Woods, Strom, Gene Strom. Whoa. He's okay. Gene Strom's, yeah, nice backup big here. Woods was a combo forward or wing. What? Oh yeah. I got thrown off by this, but he's 6'4.5". Yeah, he should be a wing. He's got some issues, right? 7 speed, 4 in handling. But yeah, I mean, I like Strom here. Strom's nice. But let's talk about the starters. That's usually what we focus on. Again, just taking a look at everything again. Obviously, so Crabtree is, a solid backup combo guard. He's got solid ratings and everything. Burrows is this power forward and backup center. I mean, he's fine. 10 strength isn't awesome, but 16 IS, tough to beat. 14, 13, real good. I forget his weight. 230, solid weight. I guess Curtis Newby doesn't play. Poor Curtis Newby. What's wrong with him? I mean, I guess it's just more important to get Strom the time at power forward. I don't know. But let's see, who's this again? El Martins is, I knew that. One of the most experienced managers in the game. I'm not questioning them. I'm just looking at things. Sweeney, solid big here again. 18 IS. Wow. Oof. Wow. 16 strength. Yeah, this guy's a load down low for sure. Madden here. 26. Madden's a small forward. Louis Allen is the shooting guard. Okay. Quick defender, shooter type of guy. Madden got some size, got some speed, got some strength, got some, balanced defense, can shoot. I mean, it's a good team. Yeah, I mean, it kind of doesn't blow you away, but then, 10-1. So I don't know. What can you say? Next is the Cohawks in Iowa, Jayberg. And, honestly, wow, this is, really similar. Did I just click on the same roster as North Greenville? Pretty much. Yeah, let's see. Actually, let's go back to North Greenville stats just to look at how they attack teams. They shoot from the outside. They shoot really well, shoot really efficiently. But they attack the paint too. I don't know. It's just not a team that like stands out. It doesn't blow me out of the water. But again, they've given time to younger guys, and that kind of dampens down a lot of the production. And so it's tough to like really judge this team. I think, if you're in the conference with North Greenville, it's going to be kind of interesting game plan for them. I just broke it down, so you can kind of tell who their starters are going to be. But they could whip out Hawk or Hairston or Gaddy, at any time. And Bow and Newbie looked pretty good too. They have depth. Yeah, they don't have like the top end talent, but I don't know. This team is interesting. This team is really interesting. Cohawks. Oh my gosh, there's so many teams here. Let's see. So this team, Justin Howard, I imagine. So Mason, shooting guard. Lawson, point guard. What? Oh yeah. Stroud at center, Howard at power forward / center, Fletcher at small forward, Sampson small forward. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Point guard too for Fletcher. Sampson at small forward, Reed as combo guard, Niang as the big man. All right. Fellow Niang. Oh, that's such a cool. I want that guy. Interesting. I mean, none of those names was Craig Reed, right? Oh, Reed. Okay. Reed at combo guard. What do I know? Fletcher is the small forward. Okay, so there's some weird playing decisions. I mean, Lawson at point guard makes sense, right? Good shooter, not a great defender, okay, but a good ball handler, like a nice point guard, fast. You know, not a great defender, but he's got some size at 6'4". He's kind of speedy. You know, he'll hold his own. Fletcher at small forward, though, that's not what I would do. I mean, I guess I get it. I understand it because he's got 10 in interior defense, which is literally the second highest rating. But when he's 5'11", I mean, how much does a 10 in interior defense help? I don't know. You know, he can shoot. He's fat. Yeah, he's not that fast, but he's okay. He's strong though. So he's like a sturdy little dude. I don't know. That's interesting though. I mean, I guess. I mean, they're making it work. You know, obviously they're high up in the RPI. Yeah, I mean, Howard at power forward makes sense. Good defender, solid rebounder, scorer. I mean, yeah, this was obvious, right? 13 strength, 250 pounds. I mean, I'm not sure why he's not playing center. That's because Stroud is playing center. He's a much better rebounder and taller. Okay, yeah, okay. I get why Howard's at power forward. I mean, this guy's huge. Yeah. You know, not the best defender, but 7 feet, he's just fine with a 9 an ID. Sampson and Reed both come off the bench. Okay. I mean, I get it. IQ of 5, sure. Not a great ball handler here, not that fast. Jamal Sampson, you know, yeah, they can shoot. But I see why they're not starting over Lawson and I guess Fletcher. Again, I'm not sure about that one. But the starting shoot guard, Scotty Mason. What the heck? He's a 6'10.5" shooting guard. What the? I mean, he's fast and he's 6'10.5", but he's only got 6 in ID or PD. I mean, the length and the speed kind of just makes up for that sometimes. And he can shoot really well. I mean, whoa, that's crazy. That really caught me off guard. Right. And then we said Yang, Sampson, Reed are the bench guys. Sampson, Reed, Yang. Interesting. Okay. I mean, you know, Yang looks like a solid backup big. Right. I mentioned Reed and Sampson here. And then it looks like the other guys are redshirting, the freshmen. So, and that's the majority of that would be the majority of the bench, but they're all redshirting. Makes sense. So, you know, I think they're kind of just forced into playing Fletcher at small forward, but that's definitely like the area to attack. And their bench too, for sure. I mean, they've got good bigs in Howard and Stroud. Mason looks crazy as a shooting guard. You know, and their point guard has some weaknesses, but he's got some definite strengths too. Okay, that's Go Hawks. The Webster Gorlords. I mean, that's a great name, first off. Doug Dimmadome's team here. That's Webster. How long have I been recording for? I mean, you know, they got the top end talent. This is not like North Greenville or Co. This is much different. They're deep, though, still. Well, maybe not this year, though. Depends on if the 5 stars are playing. I mean, this team has 1 5-star freshman, 2 4-star freshmen. Okay, wait, that's Finley, Harrison, and Cecile. Okay, so only Finley is playing this year. So Cecile and Harrison are both redshirting. Okay, good to know. So Keys and Schaefer. Let's see, Schaefer, I imagine, is the point guard. Wow, I got that right. Keys at small forward, Tabucci at combo big, Jennings at combo wing, Riley at center, Finley at shooting guard. And so you can see he's got 5 starts. Is that just to cover for Keys' injuries, or has there been a lineup change? That's always what I like to look at, right? Lange as the backup big, particularly power forward. Finley, looks like he was giving Finley the playing time early on, and then like has made it adjusted so he's not getting as much playing time. Move to the bench, which makes sense because let's see, because who was it? Jennings is better, I imagine, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but Keys, small forward, fast, right? Good shooter. Sorry, I was just processing things in my head. Schaefer, fast, good. Wow, really good point guard skills here, right? 16 in perimeter defense, 16 in IQ, 17 in passing, 16 in handling, 17 speed. Solid shooter, not, I mean, he's okay. These are good. I'd take those percentages, right? Yeah, Tabucci. Man, I want a guy named Tabucci. It's a great name. 6'10", big, right, with 15 strength, 255 pounds. Just an 8 in IS, but a 13 in outside shooting. What you can see what the weakness here is on this team. The perimeter or the interior defense is not good. It's not great. But with a 7-foot Isaac Riley, who's only 225 pounds, so he's a little thin, and he's 10 strength, so he can get bullied around. You can get pushed around a lot. But 9 in interior defense for a 7-footer, again, that can do okay. Yeah, I mean, Gus Nolan. Does Gus Nolan play? I didn't see him really. Backup point guard, it looks like. Got backup combo guard, okay. Weber as a combo forward. Lange. So Finley shooting guard. Lange at power forward. Nolan and Weber, okay. Okay, so here's their backup big. Yeah, you can see why he's the backup big. 5 in interior defense, and he's only 6'7.5". I mean, he's an okay scorer. He's not that heavy. He's kind of strong. He's kind of slow. Nolan looks like he'll develop solidly. Yeah, I mean, Weber here is a wing. Did I say he was? Combo forward. I mean, he's got size. He's got good defense. He's slow, though. He's not that strong. Yeah, I mean, he's a redshirt sophomore. 240 pounds is pretty hefty, though. I mean, looks like a solid guy, just kind of like behind in development, really. I mean, he's behind these true freshmen that they've got. I don't know. Jennings, good shooter, man. So yeah, this team, they take a decent amount of threes. They hit a lot of threes. They play fast. I assume they press a decent amount. Yeah, I would definitely assume they press a decent amount, which is interesting. I guess that's okay too. I mean, I don't think they have the perimeter defense to really press. I mean, obviously Schaefer's fine, but anyone else? I mean, Keys. I don't know how Keys gets so many steals. What the heck? Interesting. Webster is interesting. I mean, all these teams are interesting. This is normally where Rob would talk. Okay, let's move on. GCOD was Augustana College of Vikings. Much easier team to break down, right? All the guys have starts versus those past 2 teams we just looked at. Sell at shooting guard, Whaley at center, Moretti as the power forward, Lou as the small forward, and Littleton as the point guard. But they don't push their guys much at all. The bench, is 5 deep and getting a decent amount of playing time at least. Lawson, Terrell as the bigs, McAndrews at small forwards, Turo at point guard, and Snell at shooting guards. Sell and Snell. That'll be fun. Ooh, Herb Sell is injured though. He's our top player. He's their starting shooting guard. Yikes. Okay, he can shoot though. Kent Whaley as the center again. Moretti as the power forward. Littleton here at point guard. Lou is the small forward. Snell is the backup shooting guard. So he's going to be thrust into the lineup. That's going to be a big drop off in defense, but a slight upgrade in speed. Passing is down. Handling. Shooting is obviously going to be way worse. Sell shoots. He doesn't shoot a great percentage though. I wonder why that is. 17 and 13, you should be 13 speed, I guess, again, that speed at shooting guard, especially, but, point guard and small forward, I think too, it makes a big difference. It really does. This team shoots a decent amount of threes. They play fast. Don't really press that much. Okay. Yeah. Whaley, big threat in down low for sure. And he's leading the player of the games. Moretti, he's okay. 16 in strength though. Again, I other better options. Maybe do you want to play Terrell and Dawson? In that power forward. I don't know. Maybe. Terrell kind of looks like an upgrade over Moretti, but I get, wanting to have the backup center because center is pretty important. I don't know. This team, not feeling it so much. Good luck, but we'll see. All right. So that's LL3 for you. Now let's move on to LL4. We're going to skip 3.4 here. Xavier, St. Thomas, Aquinas, look like solid teams. Well, we may talk about them, but, I didn't want to talk about 24th. We talked about Temple last week. They even moved up to number 2. I think they were 3 or 4 last week. Now they look even better. Who else we got? So we're going to go to Minnesota Crookston here. And, I talked about this team briefly, but, we can look at it more in depth. And you can see, I think the thing that jumps off the bat, I guess Billy Ray White jumps off the bat, as he should. What, does he need a point guard? No, shooting guard. I don't know. That wouldn't make any sense. Shooting guard, right? And, this is a team I'm going to have to face. So I don't want to give away too much. But, Billy Ray White is the guy you have to stop, 19.5 points a game. But you look at this, they're pretty deep. All their starters score in double figures. They play decently fast. They press a lot, right? Or they get a lot of steals. I don't know if they press necessarily, but usually a high steal number is going to mean they press a lot. They play super fast. I say teams with like 65 field goal attempts per game is fast. With 71, they played some overtime games, it looks like. That's a lot. That's a lot, though, of field goal attempts. They take a lot of threes, though. They shoot it well. So this is going to be a tough team to stop, score in the paint decently. The other thing, though, is they have 2 5-star freshmen, and they're redshirting both, right? You can see Sanders and Messina do not appear on this stats, so they haven't played it at all yet. I assume they're redshirting. So that's interesting. We talk about the recruiting penalties and whatnot, but obviously, they're going to have these talented players for 5 years now, and they're going to be really good. But this year, we won't see them much. Rich Burke is a really solid big guy. I think he's the power forward, I want to say. Yep. Stover at small forward, Mitchell at center, and Tolbert at point guard. Okay, so let's look at Tolbert at point guard. You know, 14, 11, 14, 16, 14 with 13 speed is pretty good. I mean, Rich Burke, right? 6 in IS, not awesome, but he takes 4 now. How do you get a power forward to take 4.5 threes a game? What the hell? Whoa. Wow. So he's a stretch pick. That's good. That's good. Good defender though. 18 strength is really good. 230 pounds, just solid big, like literally with 18 strength. You know, Billy Ray White again can shoot. He shoots a lot. You know, he's not the most efficient guy, but he's good. He's good. Okay, what else? And this is LL4, so I'm being more lenient with the ratings, right? Rich Burke, you know, if this is LL2, LL1, 12 and 13 is not good enough. I mean, 18 strength is, and you know, like 12 perimeter defense for Billy Ray White, not enough. Tolbert, you know, looks like a good point guard. Stover at small forward. I mean, 6'7" is a big small forward, and that's good. The defenses though aren't great. He's fast, so kind of makes up for it a little bit, and he can shoot pretty well. Yeah. Link, Robertson, Felder are all backups, along with Lancaster and Curry. Okay. So Robertson is a backup small forward. Yeah. Link point guard, Lancaster shooting guard, and Felder center, and Curry as small forward. Okay. Wow, Curry's good at defense, man. I think this kid's out of California. You know, going to Minnesota. That was a nice pickup by them. Makes me regret some things. Harold Mitchell out of New York. Wow, this guy goes out of the region a lot, huh? Nice pickups. New York and North Carolina, California. Yeah, most of it's in region though. Okay. Wait, who's that Illinois guy? I'll walk on. Harold Mitchell's the starting center. He's good. 255 pounds. Whoa. 215 pounds. Right now I'm kind of honestly scouting them because I got to play them sometime soon. Yeah, I mean, it's a scary team. Very talented. Very, very talented, right? Braden Link, fast. You know, decent point guards can shoot though. Robertson can really shoot. You know, I think, yeah, well, he's a senior. I don't know if you can call him underdeveloped. Felder looks good though. 10, 15, ooh, 12 here. Who's his weight again? Sorry, this is like a mix of me scouting and me trying to podcast. It's not easy. So let's just move on. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, we're almost done with D1. Finally. Whew, this is tough. But this is usual for D1, I think, especially with this in depth. You know, so the thing with this conference here is in 4.8, 2 Alabama schools in the top 15, and like kind of a big gap for the rest of the conference. So that's who we're going to focus on: North Alabama and West Alabama. You know, we're going to skip over all these other D1 conferences just because right now the teams at the top, and you know, those are the teams we're looking at in terms of strong RPIs. Not quite there. I mean, Marquette was there, but they lost today, and it was a bit surprising. They lost by 20 to Tulsa, who, you know, Tulsa has not a great strength schedule. So that was a really surprising loss. Yeah, and that's pretty much all. So North Alabama, right? Herrera, Bianco, West, Whalen, and Rawls are the starters. I did my research for that one. Look at that. Ooh, spot on. And pretty much at their listed positions, so easy to tell. You know, I think, like I said, I always start with the bigs, right? So 15 strength, 280 pounds, 6'10 and a half, 12 and 13 scoring, 14 rebounding, 11 interior defense. That's really good. But a 6'7 and a half power forward with 15 IS is solid. And, you know, again, is there a better option? Probably not. I mean, maybe Bianco would be the other guy. But he's only 200 pounds. Yes, he's stronger, but you know, that I don't know what you really weigh more, the weight or the strength. You know, Johnny Crawford, though, I guess can step in there. I mean, I assume he's the backup big. He's backup combo forward. Okay. Shooting guard for Harris. Monson at point guard. Kane at center. Okay, so who's Kane? Eric Kane. There is too many Eric Kanes. I saw another one on another team. You know, he's big and he's kind of quick. Got some good shot, but he's a freshman. He's a true freshman, so he's really underdeveloped. You know, he should get there with the defenses and the rebounding, definitely, but he's just really underdeveloped. Let's see. White and Kaufman don't really play, do they? Yeah. This redshirt freshman, that's too bad. Monson here. Interesting. I mean, this Carlson, White, and Kaufman don't really play for this team that much. You got to feel like they may regret committing here. I don't know. Harris, right, shooting guard, and Crawford. Wait, so who's their backup center? Oh, Kane, duh. I still feel like I'm missing a position though, right? Don't you guys? Shooting guard. I guess it's because Bianca plays so much more. I don't know. I'm just not used to seeing like a 34. That's a lot. Who's like backup point guard though, right? That's what I'm missing. Monson. Okay. All right. Now that I learned how to do math, let's look again. Harris, you know, not a great defender, but a good shooter. He's fast. Okay. Okay. Crawford again as the combo forward. He's a great defender, pretty quick, decent scorer, decent finisher inside. You know, he can hold his own on the perimeter too, it looks like. Monson is the point guard. I get that. Yeah. Interesting decision though here between Carlson and Monson. And then Kane, yeah. Okay, so let's look at their, I mean, I don't know if they're rivals actually, but two Alabama schools in the same division fighting for the top spot. I don't know, that's pretty funny. So West Alabama now. And so, man, let's take a look at West Alabama. Ooh, white screen. All right, roster, statistics. Is the Tigers versus the, sorry, this site's been a little slow today, I'm sure, as you all know. Lions versus Tigers. Oh my God, that's incredible. So Hooper is Hooper, power forward and center. Okay, shooting guard, Cook. So point guard, shooting guard, combo big, center, and small forward for Myers with Coran, Yoder, Watkins, Harper, and Patton. Okay, I'm not going to remember all that. Hooper is combo big, slow, it's strong-ish, 6'7.5", 210 pounds. Not that great, but a good defender, good rebounder, decent defender on the perimeter even. Interesting. I think I'd play him at small forward, to be honest. But, you know, again, is there a better option is always the question. Kind of looks like there's not, right? I mean, O'Shea is the center, good rebounder, not the best defender. 6'9.5" though is okay. 200 pounds is 14 strength. You know, he can shoot. Yeah, you know, Yoder as the backup power forward. You know, so he gets a lot of minutes, right? Because when O'Shea goes out, Hooper slides over to center, and then Yoder comes in. And Yoder, you know, when it's Yoder and Hooper together, right, that's their best defensive combo, but it's not big, right? 6'5", eesh. Power forward, again, not my favorite thing. If this was my team, I would love to see it if I'm playing this team. But yeah, I mean, interior scoring, he's solid, right? Joe Cook, the point guard, right? right? Carney's I mean, here's the thing. Their shooting guard 6'8". And I kind of see why. He's quick-ish, okay at defense. He can handle. He's smart. He can shoot, obviously. That's the big thing. Not a great shooter, though, is he? I mean, 8 threes a game, only hitting less than 30%. Joe Cook, I don't know. This team just looks really weird. Who's going to win between North and West Alabama? I don't know. They're both pretty flawed, right? I think I'd give the advantage to North Alabama just looking at things. Myers at the small forward position. Yeah, interesting. Patton as a third string center. Harper at the other small forward, like backup small forward is what it's called. Interesting. Karan, Watkins. Interesting. Very interesting. And Watkins is a really good shooter. He's got a lot of what I would like, but a bad defender. Definitely flawed. I mean, right, we talked about the interior defense being really soft here. Perimeter defense, they're okay. But yeah, let's take a look here. Right, they shoot a lot of threes. Why are these teams shooting so many threes? Decent amount of steals, so I bet they press. They take care of the ball, which is good to see. Interesting. I mean, that makes sense. Joe Cook looks like a solid point guard guy. They play fast. Not great at defense. I mean, you could tell based on what we talked about, right? Oops, not Yahoo. North Alabama, on the other hand, right? I mean, this is a team definitely attacks the inside more compared to them. I mean, I guess not against raw stats, but I mean, when you would count for possessions, I think that is the case. No, not really. I mean, when you count for what pace, I guess maybe it's interesting. And they press a lot, 11 steals, 16 fouls, 10 turnovers. Not as good of an offensive team, certainly. Definitely a much better defensive team than West Alabama. So that'll be interesting when they match up offense versus defense type of thing, you know? Yeah. All right, let's move on. Wow, I can get rid of 4 teams right there. That's wonderful. Whew, okay. All right, I'm going to take a break. Be right back. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm still recording, aren't I? All right, we are back, everyone, and we're going to look at Division 2. Now we're done with Division 1. I hope an hour long talking about Division 1 was enough for you guys. For you D1 folks, let's focus on Division 2. As you can see, we're going to start with the top ranked team. A bit of a surprise. I don't think we saw Idaho State, you know, at the beginning of the year, right? At 132 TPI, not that great. But Short Dog hasn't playing well. He hasn't logged in like over a week though, so I'm not sure how long that'll hold. Just him being president. But you know, Idaho State, you know, that's interesting, right? Not a great TPI, but they have a 173 small forward. He's 6'3.5". You know, not the biggest guy, but 173 is really good. You can see he doesn't like passing the ball, but he can do everything else pretty much. He can shoot. He, you know, defends really well. He's smart, you know, so he can drive though. He's strong. He's pretty fast. He can handle. This guy's a big threat. You know, let's take a look at their stats. And I'm pretty sure Terrell Robinson will be, you know, the leader here, right? Yeah, there you go. Terrell Robinson shoots a lot. Wow, 14 attempts a game. But Brian Hodge, I think, was that second guy here. And he's, you know, solid. I wouldn't say, you know, like EWS is like, not my favorite thing, right? I mean, well, where does he play? Because he plays all over. He gets minutes all over the place. That's really weird. You know, he's shooting really well. He's having a really good year, surprisingly. You know, because with an 8 OS, I don't think he would be that consistent in terms of like hitting threes. 46% and a 51% field goal percentage. That's really surprising, to be honest, especially when he's like kind of moving up to play power forward sometimes. I mean, I know he's kind of quick. He's not, that quick. He's not that strong. But he can drive and finish. And I think maybe that's part of it. Having double digits in both of those, I wouldn't say is rare, but I don't see it too often, especially out of a 150 SI, because like you can't train those. There's no comments to predict them. So it's hard. It's hard to like know if a guy will be good at that and then how to even take advantage of that, really. But he's solid. Yeah. I mean, Stetson and Wakefield. Oh man, this guy was in California too. No, Idaho. Oh, I remember him. I was almost about to recruit him. That's really weird. A starter getting 25 minutes a game, has a 12.3 usage rate, and is the bottom in points per game for the team. That's really funny. I mean, obviously he's a very defensive guy. 14 and 14 here. 6'10" is solid. 210 pounds. That was pretty light. 11 strength. But he does his job, right? Defense. Stetson is, I guess, the offensive big, of course, right? The third leading scorer. Power forward center, but he's getting minutes at point guard and shooting guard even before. Ooh, wow. Well, and then I'd imagine who's the point guard on this team? Francis, gotta be, right? Henry Francis. All right, let's take a look. 6 IQ, 11 speed, 12 in passing, 11 in handling, 7 in perimeter defense. I mean, you all know what I'm going to say. This is a very flawed point guard. Are there better options? Probably not. I can see why Stetson and Hodge have gotten minutes at point guard, though, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, this team is all about Terrell Robinson and then a little bit of Hodge and Stetson too. But, if I was preparing for them, it's all about Terrell Robinson. But yeah, I mean, obviously they're off to a good start. 8-3 then in conference they won by 39 today against Idaho. That's hilarious. That they have in state rival here in their conference. Oregon failure. Ouch. Hopefully you bring them back. I don't know. All right, that's Idaho State. All right, let's move on to Minnesota State, a Final Four team last year in Division II who did not promote. They are off to a 10-1 start. We talked about Baylor before. They're undefeated. There's a few undefeated teams in Division II we should talk about, actually, or mention. Baylor, Randolph-Macon, who we'll talk about, Oregon, High Point, who was also a Final Four team last year and didn't promote, and College of Charleston. I think we talked about a few of them last week, but Minnesota State, I played them with Dominican. They were really good. That double OT game in the Final Four, just tremendous. And they're led by Deion Joyner, this junior now, who's just a legit player, 12, 14, 14, 13. Let's look at the stats and how they break it down there, everything. And Joyner averaging almost 21 points a game. Krieger, wow, 19 points in one game at point guard. Wait, what? Why was he at point guard? He's 6'10" and a half. I mean, I can see it. I can see why he's a point guard, but my God, that's scary. 6'10" and a half point guard. Right, the other guys, Sellers and Pollock, right, the 2 7-footers, right, are the other guys that this team really relies on. Pollock here, Sellers here, Shaver at the backup big, Bradley at small forward, and Frick is the point guard. Joyner, what? Oh, that was weird. Oh, yeah. Shooting guard. Okay, Monty Foster, man, I love Monty Foster. That kid is so good. Yeah, so let's see. Burholder does not get playing time. He's backup. What? Backup shooting guard? Okay. So Frick at point guard. Now that I'm not in their division, I can kind of say Frick did not scare me. He was the guy I was going to attack with my team. I don't even remember my full game plan, but I was obviously you got to try to stop Sellers and Pollock and then Joyner. Right, this team scores 46 points in the paint, but also scores almost 13 points on the fast break. They get a decent amount of steals. Again, they probably press a lot. They shoot a lot of threes, but not like an abnormal amount, but they hit a lot of threes at a very high percentage. They score a lot of points. They play super fast, it looks like. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stopping Pollock and Sellers and Joyner. And then Bradley's pretty good. I know he hurt me in our game. So that leaves kind of Frick as like the weak link of the team a little bit. Sorry, not that he's bad. I mean, he's the second highest SI guy on the team, and he's a good point guard. But I didn't consider him a threat, and so I think that's kind of the issue. Now, Monty Foster, I don't know if he should be starting over Frick. I'm not saying that, but he is, I don't know about a bigger threat, but I mean, offensively, I think he is. Defensively, maybe not. So I don't know. It's interesting. Damon Krieger definitely would be a threat as a point guard, but he's redshirting probably. But still, that's pretty crazy. That's funny. All right. So Minnesota State, they're big, they're talented, they play fast. I mean, this team might be national champions this upcoming season or this season. I would be really scared of them. Yeah. All right. Who are we talking about next? Samford. I think, base scout, he's a new president. He's really excited about his team. That's awesome. And you got to give him props for this season, or for this team, the season they are having this season. Ooh, words are hard now. Rourke is the guy here, the main guy. Let's look at the stats again. You know how it goes, right? Mosley, I was in New Rochelle, was in the same conference as Samford for a little bit, and Mosley, was a big problem, and it looks like he still kind of is, getting all conference last season, averaging double. He's a 6'11", just 215 pounds, but 17 rebounds, 11 strength, which is okay. But yeah, I mean, Rourke averaging 23 points a game. Wow. I mean, he can shoot now. This was a few seasons ago. Rourke was not really a threat. Now he kind of looks like he could be, especially shooting. Defense is his weakness, though. I mean, 5 in perimeter defense from a senior is really bad. But he's kind of quick. He can pass. I guess he's the point guard. But in Mosley's the big guy. 18 interior scoring, again, 17 rebounds. But they're not the only guys, but this is the crux of this team. And you can see Goodwin averages 15 points, Brown about 10 points, Temple I assume is the power forward combo guy. Okay, Beckett comes in. Okay, so we're looking for Temple and Beckett with Sugimoto 13 pot, but he's been kind of disappointing. He's also really slow as a point guard or any guard, any perimeter player. 3 in speed, yikes. So he's kind of like really tamped down. Again, we talked about speed being really important. But Stevie Brown, as a small forward, 6'2", Chuck Goodwin as a shooting guard, 6'1.5". They're quick. Brown can play defense. Goodwin can kind of slash to the basket. Brown can kind of shoot. I mean, they're okay, but they're definitely flawed, and then Temple as the other big. And I get it. I don't know if you have better options, so yeah, you play him. So, Base is doing an okay job. They're kind of new, taking over this team. So kind of trying to do it on the fly while trying to have success. Good luck. They're having a good season this year. 4th in RPI, 8-3. They're leading this V6 conference, which, well, they're not leading. They lost today, in fact. I'm just talking about like in RPI, they're leading. Yeah. So good luck to them. Let's talk about some strong conferences though in D2. And I mentioned V6. It's kind of okay, right, with Samford here, and then Eastern Washington and UC Irvine. But that's kind of it for this conference. The strong conferences, I would say, are 14, 5.14, right? They have 5, 11, 14, 18, 30. So they have 8 in the top 64 here, from Piedmont to San Diego State. And then, V8 is good. Actually, let's go to V2 first, 5.2. So this is Minnesota State leading. Minnesota, Fresno, Colorado, and Grambling states, 4 in the top 30 and 8 in the top 100, I guess, which I guess isn't that strong. I think it's the 4 in the top 30. Oh, is the big thing. Yeah, those are what my notes say. I just misread. 5.8, this is 8 in the top 64 and then 9 at 81. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I just didn't want to count wrong. Wisconsin, Illinois, 2 real life Big Ten teams having good years at 10 and 1, but a little lower in RPI. UC San Diego, we talked about being the top team by TPI. And they're having a good season, definitely. Let's go back to that. Let's go back. Oshkosh, who we'll talk about, and Sul Ross State. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Hood, though, right? Kind of a AWOL president. The thing is, though, 10 and 1 with a 126.6 TPI. Yeah. We can take a brief look. I don't want to talk about them too much because they're absentee owner. But, Green and Horner, Horner's not a great defender. Green's really talented, 160. Horner's good offensively, though, and he's big. Yeah, I mean, not great defense. Hagen, okay. Sure. Yeah, you can see this team. It definitely has flaws. I mean, most D2 teams are going to have flaws. The team I want to talk about, though, one of the teams, so we talked about Samford here. State. All right, let's go to Tennessee State real briefly. Okay. And so Tennessee State, you can see, is number 9 in RPI. They got a couple injuries. Yikes. They're not super big. I mean, Cross is, I assume, they're starting center with Sage as their power forward. I mean, Murakami is bigger than Sage, but probably not as good of a fit. He's a decent shooting guard, though. House at small forward, Blackburn or Edwards at point guard. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of, either it's IQ or it's passing. It's kind of interesting. Handling and versus speed. It's interesting. If you could combine them, then they'd be a good point guard, Cross, McGarry, maybe McGarry's a starting small forward or power forward, because no, he doesn't get really much playing time because he had that 12-12 combination. He's 6'4.5", so Ziga, that's a cool name. Gary Sage, okay, he's the starting power forward or not. Starting shooting guard. I'm confused, guys. So I don't do this that much. Who's the starting small forward? Power forward. Okay, we shouldn't spend too much time on this team because they are basically about House and Kraus, Blackburn, Green, Clifford Green. Was it Clifton? Clifford Green is a starting power forward. I mean, come on, guys. Why is this team 10 and 1, please? Ugh. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Columbus State. This team has an active president. Trebi, Dominican, and Santa Clara were in the same conference as them last season. And, we talked about them a little bit just in talking about our own teams. But, the guy to watch out for here is Caden Flint, okay? 7-foot center. Oh, boy, we have all types of Columbus State tabs open. Caden Flint, 7-foot center, 17 points a game, 9.5 rebounds at 1.4 blocks. Yeah, I mean, he's good, right? 15 IS, He's like 235, okay, 5 in strength only. I mean, he's definitely flawed, right? 8 in interior defense, not great, but 7'1.5", it's okay. And here's his perimeter guys who are solid, good defenders, right? Pretty quick, relatively. This is D2 guys. You got to give them some slack. Good ranges, good range shooting combos here. And then Coyle, I believe, is the power forward. Definitely pretty flawed. Again, opting for rebounding over interior defense. Not that this team has any interior defense at all to speak of. But a good perimeter defense team. Hatfield, Birch, I would guess. But not much depth here, or interior defense, which is a bad combo. They have Flint, but you got to protect Flint somehow, I feel like. And they don't have that. Now, they're still the best team in that conference. And at least by RPI and by record. And, just winning by 4, that's one game. You don't know. That could be just one opponent, So, yeah. Cade and Columbus State, and Cade and Flint. I mean, that's the top of your mind when you face this team. I mean, yeah, through non-con, this team was the best team. Wow. Whoa. Colorado Springs. That's whoa. All right. Moving on. Randolph-Macon, one of those undefeated teams, right? How much time do I have? Okay. They got 3 4-stars and a 5-star on this team. What the hell is this recruiting? Whoa. I mean, Rumpsteak has put in the work. Nice roster. That's pretty crazy. He's got a 16 recruiter. 12 Hunter McCurdy. I thought that's a human McCurdy. So Mantle, Armando Munoz, Robbie Burke, and Dan Cunningham. I mean, you can see Mantle, Burke, Cunningham, McCoy. Wait, what? Munoz doesn't start. This is the podcast for you guys now. Small forward, shooting guard, center, sure. Power forward, point guard, okay. Why doesn't Munoz start shooting guard or small forward? Why doesn't Munoz start at small forward? Why play Frank McMahon over Armando Munoz? This is very puzzling. I'm trying to figure this out as we speak. I mean, yeah, McMahon's a better defender. Munoz is a lot bigger and faster. That should make up for 1 point difference in perimeter defense. He's a much better overall scorer, I'd say, especially with that range coming in at small forward. Burke makes sense at power forward. Certainly, Cunningham obviously is the obvious pick at center. Van Faust looks like a solid backup guy as a senior walk-on. Dang, I almost had him. Oh man, I'm gonna look at him. McCoy was starting shooting guard, yeah. With Mooney's kind of backing him up. War also getting playing time. Faust, Bartlett, Mason. Okay. Worrell, Bartlett, Mason. I mean, these are all kind of whatever dudes, But McCoy as a starting shooting guard. Yikes. Bad defender. Good shooter, fast, though. I mean, D2 teams are going to have flaws. This team is undefeated. I can see why for top-end talent, but they're not taking full advantage of it, I feel like. I think Munoz should start at small forward. But yeah. Okay. We're almost there, guys. The Wisconsin Oshkosh Titans, having a really solid season, 13th in RPI, 10-1. I mean, kind of behind UC San Diego, but, that's fine. UC San Diego is good. Oshkosh, they're led by Jason Anderson, a 6'7.5" point guard. Oh, this is interesting. Uh-oh. Good luck figuring out this lineup, Oshkosh opponents. I mean, Patches, the Greek small forward, right? 13-pot Greek small forward, Spiridon. I remember looking at him hard. But then, they kind of alternate at other spots, Anderson and I would guess Craig as the point guards that alternate. I mean, look at like every guy gets playing time, and I mean, is Al the only guy redshirting? Al might be the only guy redshirting, but Billingsley and Cushman. I mean, Billingsley can't redshirt. Cushman almost is out of games. All right, and those are his freshmen. Robinson can't redshirt anymore. So I mean, like in terms of like who are the definite starters, Patches and Markunis, right? I would say Burden. So I mean, his front court is all set, right? But they really shuffle around their back court, right? Anderson at point guard, Robinson getting shooting guard minutes, Flood, just Sam Flood, yeah. So a bunch of guys I once looked at. As the backup big, Billingsley, also shooting guard, Craig at the point guard, like we said. Interesting. I mean, this is interesting, right? I mean, it's like no one's like a great fit at point guard. Maybe Robinson should be, but they're playing Anderson there. I mean, I definitely feel like there should be some lineup shifting here. I think Anderson should be shooting guard, Robinson at point guard. I think the decision that's a huge front line with these guys, small forward, power forward, center. I think that's fine. Burden's 15 strength, 235 pounds, 13 interior defense, 7 rebounding. Markunis, not a great defender, but solid rebounder, pretty big, pretty strong. Spiridon, which is just a great name. You just love saying that. 240 pounds, 12 and 15 in strength and speed. Solid defender. He's a junior already. What the hell? I thought what? McIntyre. Wow. I mean, lots of guys get starts here. That's really interesting. And a lot of minutes spread around. Tough to evaluate. It's tough to evaluate for sure. Dustin Polk at 6'11.5". Really big, strong. Whoa. Interesting. I don't know. This team would be tough to game plan for sure. For sure. That's a team to watch out for. Definitely. Wisconsin Oshkosh, everyone. Okay. Now we're moving on to D3, and you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams lined up to talk about. And you got to talk about Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the only undefeated team in D3, the top RPI team with a 124 TPI. What? Every one of these other teams, like no one else really stands out. Helicron 2's old Bamon team, Academy of Art Penn, both the 10-1. But yeah, I mean, Texas A&M Christi, usually when a team has like that low of a TPI, but it's playing that well, we think it's a lot to do with size. And kind of is. I mean, they have 2 6'10.5" big men who I assume are playing and starting, right? Beverly and Gaines with Riley at point guard, Colazo at shooting guard / backup point guard, and Roberts at small forward. I'd assume Charles is the backup big, and Parks is the backup shooting guard. Okay. So Tracy doesn't play really at all. I mean, 7 minutes is okay. I just forgot everything. So Riley at point guard, right? Good passer, good handler, bad IQ, kind of fast, good defender. Definitely flawed, but he's okay. All right. Colazo, fast, can shoot. I mean, okay. I mean, he likes to shoot. I wouldn't say he can. 32% is like a little low for me. Tad Roberts. I mean, does Tad Roberts? Yeah, Tad Roberts is starting small forward, pretty big, versatile. Not great though. 5 IQ. Ooh. Is there a better option though? I guess not. It's the bigs here, right? 14 IS, 12 IS. Not the greatest ratings in interior defense, but good rebounding numbers for those sizes at D3. Yeah, they can make it work. 240 pounds, 235 pounds. Not the strongest, again, but the size, sometimes that's all it's needed. Terrence Parks is the shooting guard. What? He's like 6'8.5". No, 6. Okay, never mind. Zion Charles. Whoa, this guy's good. Whoa. Pretty good. He can score, he can finish, he can rebound. I mean, just look for this guy on offensive rebounds, right? That's pretty much their team. I can see why they're doing well in D3. Will it hold? I don't know. It could. It definitely could. That's a bit surprising. But yeah, it's hard to put yourself back in the D3 mindset and like looking at their weaknesses and strengths and comparing, right? But Cal State San Marcos, right? This is a team that is one of the best TPI teams in D3. Oh, Edwardsville, right? Weren't they like number 1 or number 2 and in RPI? Now they're number 40, which is still fine, and they have the highest TPI. I'm sure they'll come back up. But Cal State San Marcos, number 3 with number 2 TPI. You got to talk about them. CA, Giuliani, Edgar Renteria's son, Edgardo. Justin Steen, I assume, is the center. CA is the power forward. I mean, who's the point guard here, right? Just looking at the numbers, I mean, McGowan maybe could be. I like to have 3, solid, even 4 with the perimeter defense numbers. But some people like to really prioritize passing. So I could see Renteria being the guy. I mean, he's fast. He's got good IQ, good passing, obviously, really good passing. But the handling, the defense aren't what I would employ as my point guard for sure. But to each their own. So McGowan at shooting guard, Giuliani at small forward, Renteria point guard, yeah. CA at combo big, Steen at center, and Ivy point guard, combo guard, Schaefer at power forward, Hazen combo forward, Thompson. What? Okay. So yeah, I mean, CA is nice and versatile defensively, good rebounder, decent scorer inside, especially. He's fast, not that strong. He's not that big, right? I mean, 6'3". What? Good luck. A power forward, dude. I mean, again, what's the better option though? Really, Ted Schaefer is a power forward. Oh my God, 6'2.5". I don't know what this team is doing at power forward, but they got some interesting playing time things going on. And Crow, Hazen. Let's look for Crow and Hazen, right? These guys, I think, would be better power forwards than Ted Schaefer. Just saying. But having a good year or not. I mean, they're 5-6. Is that really a good year? I don't know. Yeesh. I mean, I don't know how hard their schedule was necessarily. 5-6 is not good, right? Augustana, okay. Utah, Minnesota State, Nebraska Kearney, Ohio Dominican, Wisconsin Lutheran. They beat North Carolina Wesleyan. Wait, what? They played Minnesota State twice and they won one, and then they lost another. That's weird. St. Edwards. Oh, they beat St. Edwards. They beat North Carolina A&T. That's interesting. They got some good wins for sure. They also have some, typical losses, I think. It's interesting. All right, let's talk about Oglethorpe, the Stormy Petrels. That's a cool name. This is, I think, Taves' second team out there in Atlanta, Georgia. Taves, Nazareth's president. Oglethorpe's having a good year though, 7-4. Not the best, but 5th in RPI. You got to feel good about that. you know, this is a solid team, pretty deep, right? I think I usually look for like 110 or higher. And I guess I haven't done that analysis for anyone else before. But, you know, Leah Long is a really nice big, you know, yeah, just 6'7", but again, you can kind of make that work in D3. Goodness gracious, it's a long one. And, you know, all these perimeter guys look at good shooters. And here's, I assume, the point guard, Michael Christian. And then you surround him with these shooters. Here's your big. And you need one other big, basically, if you're Oglethorpe, for your starter. So who is that? Melvin. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Justice. Okay, Sanchez, Christian point guard, Sanchez at shooting guard, Melvin at small forward, Long at center, Justice at power forward, Wellman at shooting guard. Does that line up with what we've just evaluated here? No, where's Matt Beck? Where does he play? Matt Beck. He's slow. I don't know if I'd play him. Yeah, he doesn't play. I mean, he's slow. I get that. Wellman, that's the other shooting guard. Yeah. I think this is nice roster management by Malchus here, you know. Nice. Justin Justice as the power forward. Okay. Makes sense. Grayson Braden probably gets some minutes. Kovacic. Let's look. Braden. Okay. Yeah, this is nice roster management by Oglethorpe for sure. All right, let's go on to Stetson, Bank Ballers team here. Stetson, the alma mater of Jacob deGrom, New York Mets ace, of course. Has no, you know, impact on this game, of course, but you know, who's heard of Stetson otherwise? Floyd Coombs and Warren Jackson, right? I mean, again, start with the bigs. Look at that. Floyd Coombs 17 and 13. That's really good. 9 and 9. Okay. You know, who's the power forward? Is it Jackson? Is it Pagan? That's a good question. I mean, one guy provides offense, one guy provides a little more defense, not much more. Okay, so let's look at that lineup then. Odom, shooting guard, Flint, point guard, Malone, small forward, Pagan, maybe power forward. I don't know. I mean, he might be redshirted. No, he can't. What? Why is he only playing 5 games? Coombs at center, of course. Bridges is the power forward. So Reginald Bridges maybe at the power forward spot. Okay, I can see it. Size, rebounding, not interior defense, but it's not like Pagan is much better. Jackson, he's only played 6 games, backup power forward, but he's also been hurt for 5 games. So, okay. I don't know. Maybe it looks like they made a switch or maybe alternate. I don't know. Let's take a look. So, I mean, for the past 5 games, Pagan has been starting and getting a lot of minutes. Bridges got the starts early on and then has come off the bench. So it looks like maybe they kind of realize, maybe Pagan is the better fit for the lineup, which, okay, I can see it. You know, definite weaknesses here. He's strong, but he's short, right? He's a good scorer, but a bad defender. Bridges is kind of like the opposite. He's bigger, but he's you know, kind of weak and thin. Not a better defender, not a better scorer. Again, maybe Warren Jackson is the answer. I kind of think, kind of like the in between, right? Malone, Flint, Odom. I think those are definitely your starters. Good shooters, really good defenders, kind of quick. Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like this perimeter combination. Then yeah, you know, the bench. Benton, center, Jackson, Thomas, Pack. Deep bench, you know, a lot of options here. So yeah, Gill, where does Gill play? Gill doesn't really play. That's too bad. He's bad defender, really bad. All right, almost done. Talking about one more team, UH-Hilo, the Hawaiian Vulcans, 3-D. This is what Fuzzy's other team, his third team. Just taking a look at them, 15th RPI, 9-2, off to a really good start. I also want to talk about Punkska's Westfield State team, his third team, off to a 7-4 start, 22nd in RPI. Just wanted to shout them out, because Fuzzy and Punkska, they're both very experienced presidents who have taken over these third teams, to provide themselves a different challenge. And I think their experience, their knowledge about the game is showing through with the performance of their team so far. Nolan Green hurt, but he's the big man, I would assume. They got big front court here, right? And then even Buddy Doyle coming off the bench, providing a nice combo. 18, holy moly, how does anyone pass this guy? This is a good team. This is going to be a scary, scary team. Yeah, and then McKay and Harris can score, I assume, and defend a lot. I mean, this is a strong front court, really, really strong. Especially defensively, I think, is the real thing. Who's their point guard right here? Is shooting guard. McKay at power forward, Green at center, obviously. Hardy coming off the bench at combo guard, but really sparks the offense. It looks like a 25% usage, good shooting. Cunningham as a small forward instead of Harris. Interesting. Doyle at center, yeah. Wade as the point guard, okay. Weaver. Okay, so who are the Wade and Cunningham instead of Harris. Okay, small forward. I'm interested why Cunningham over Harris. I guess the handling, is a big difference, and you'd rather have your better handler at shooting guard than your bad handler. Or maybe you'd rather have your bad handler at small forward rather than shooting guard, I guess is the answer. Okay, so that makes sense. Sure. Wade as the point guard, right? Good passer. He's definitely flawed, but again, what's the better options? Paul Hardy, maybe, but then you sacrifice defense. So yeah, I think they're managing it well. Just it's flawed. Every D3 team is going to be flawed. Yeah. All right. So talking about strong conferences in D3, almost done. We got VI12, 6.12 with 4 in the top 64. Let's go this way here. So VI12, 4 in the top 64 here, led by Cortland. And then VI13 right away here with 2 in the top 3, of course, and then 4 more in the top 66. So all of them kind of have shots to be, tournament teams. And, Edwardsville is that top team by SI, and San Marcos is number 2. Corpus Christi came out of nowhere, though. What the heck? Then let's see, VI2 would be the next one on my notes. 3 in the top 50. And 4 more, or no, sorry, not 4 more, number 4 at number 73. So they're kind of close to being in the tournament picture. Or they are close to being in the tournament picture. 22. So, this is one of the things. I haven't done this research. I don't know if anyone has, but it'd be interesting to see how the RPI rankings, obviously at the end of the season, correlate to the number of tourney bids that a conference gets, right? Particularly looking at if having a lot of elite teams is better, not a lot of elite teams, having a few elite teams is better for the number of bids, or if having the depth is better. So I think this is more the case in D2, but D3 kind of can have it too. We talked about 27 last season. They had a lot of teams. Overall, so I'm sure they got a lot of bids, but is that better than having the 1 and 3 teams, right? That 13 has, right? Basically, is this better? And they have some depth, so it's kind of not the right comparison. But is 13 better than? Let's see if I can pick out a good one. like 20. I mean, 20 is okay. I don't think it's apples to apples right now. Yeah, how about this one? Like Houghton in Westfield State being at 7-22, right? A couple of elite teams versus 22, 24 with all of these teams here, with 6 in the top 16, number 7 at number 76, right? Which one is going to get more tourney bids? I don't know. And then the last strong conference, like relatively, I would say is number 30 here. So that would be 4 in the top 60, right? It's okay. For D3, that's pretty good. So that's for today's show. I mean, that's like a 100-minute one. It's by myself. I like to talk a lot. But that'll be it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, if you haven't already, to our videos and our channel. Not in any of those orders. You got to mix and match those words. We'll hopefully come at you with another episode this week. Again, I think we have some interesting topics coming up. I'm thinking like the psychology of hardwood, honestly. Like, I don't think people realize that, humans run this game. Like, humans are the presidents. It's not all bot controlled. It's not all computers. And so thus with humans, like, comes the mind, right? And psychology. I think you can have some fun with that, getting to think about different things, with all the stuff that affects us, as people. Tactics, of course, is always a go-to that everyone needs help with. I've been looking at advanced stats, and using those and thinking about those. So yeah, we'll see what we talk about, but I think it'll be interesting nonetheless. So yeah, I think that about covers it. I don't know our sign off. I forgot. I had to practice our intro, so I don't know the outro. But till next time, talk to you later. Peace.